So the very first we have is rasala. This is my favorite of the two. This is an excellent substitute for ice cream or even frozen yogurt, both of which are not recommended in Ayurveda for the reason that it blocks the srotas or channels. We want to avoid anything that's frozen. Um, Rasala is an excellent dish that has all the right taste and texture and elements to counteract the harmful effects of summer. And it's very simple to make. You don't need too many ingredients. It's most of the ingredients you need are easily available. So there are two main ingredients you're going to need. The very first is you're going to need thick curds. Now, I want to draw attention to the term curds because I know we have a mix of audiences. Some of you joining us may be of Indian origin, and some of you are Western audience. So I want to clarify here by stating that curds is not the curds in terms of Western context. So this is not your cottage cheese. What I'm referring to here is dahi. For those of you who are of Indian origin, you would know what I mean. So the thick curds here refer to the milk solids obtained by lactic acid fermentation of milk. So when you ferment milk with curd culture, then you would obtain the thick curd. So it's very similar to yogurt. There is a distinction between Indian curds and yogurt. We're not going to get into that, but it is something that is obtained by lactic acid fermentation. I think that's an important thing to remember here. I'm not referring to paneer curd. So if any of you think that this is the milk solid obtained by mixing acidic substance like lime or lemon, that's typically, and separating it, and that typically gives you paneer. So I'm not referring to that, and it's not cottage cheese. It's your dahi, as they call it in much of India. And also it's important that it's homemade. So yogurt in our context is very industrialized. It has different strains of bacteria, but the dahi from India is typically homemade, and it has only one culture. It has the strain from lactobacillus bacteria, and that aids in the lactic acid fermentation of the milk, and that renders the milk very digestible. So the good thing about this dish is that this can be easily tolerated by people who have lactose intolerance because there's not much lactose left after all the fermentation, and it is tolerated by people who have different allergies. So this dish is gluten-free, nut-free. I think the only section of population that this dish doesn't cater to is perhaps vegans, because there is dairy here. Okay. And so you're going to need curds, and then you're going to need sugar. You need 1 measure of sugar. This is your pure cane sugar. And then you're going to need 4 measures of curds. And remember, this is a transliteration of the Ayurvedic text. So that I'm using those pure terms. It's transliterated. So that's why you find terms like curds, which has a completely different meaning in a Western context. So that's why I wanted to clarify that. And then you're going to need some really simple blend of spices that is very common in our kitchen cabinet. So you're going to need black pepper, cardamom, and clove. Remember the spices that are chosen has it not just enhances the taste profile of the dish, but they are chosen keeping in mind the healthy balance of the dish. So, for example, black pepper has what is called as bedhana quality. So, it is able to break down the fats that are in curd. So, it helps in digesting the dish. And so does cardamom and clove. They are also both excellent digestives. So don't skimp on the spices. Don't make this dish with just curds and sugar. Be sure to introduce the spices because there's a good reason why it's in there. It helps promote digestion and it helps balance the dish and makes it very healthy. Everything in Ayurveda is the goal is to make sure that it's healthy. The taste is just an outcome of a perfectly balanced dish. That's not the main goal, but it's sort of like an added bonus, if you will. And the final ingredient is, I think, something that might be a little bit harder to find. It's called edible camphor. For the Western audience, you may find it difficult to find it in regular grocery stores. At least I haven't seen it in my experience, but you can easily find it in Indian grocery stores. And word of caution, if you haven't used this substance before in your cooking, start small. This is an intensely fragrant aromatic substance, and just a little bit goes a very long way. So you want to make sure that you're using just a teeny tiny bit, just a little bit. The method prepare this, it's very simple. It involves very few steps. You want to mix curds with sugar, and you want to churn the mixture. Now, this is a very important step. Churning is an action brought out. Just watch my hands here. So you see that wooden stick that I have indicated on the picture there. That's the wooden churning stick that is again available in Indian stores that carry kitchen utensils. So what you want to do is you want to bring about the churning action like so. This is important. It's not the same as mixing. Remember, mixing involves just one direction, but churning action involves two directions. So like so, if you're watching my hands, you will know. So this is the churning action. And this is important because it transfers that churning motion into the dish, and it makes the dish more digestible. So the foods that are prepared without churning has a different effect, digestive ability and bioavailability, than when compared to dishes that have been prepared with this churning motion. So that's the thing to remember. And once you're done with that, just pour it into an earthen pot and let it rest for a couple of hours. And then you top it off with the spice blend that I just talked about, and then it's ready to serve.